this out. I invite you to picture the future. When you're retiring at age 65, what do you hope your life is like? I think everybody's ideal picture of retirement is nice house, a vacation home, a little chunk of change to leave for your kids or for your grandkids, big fat pension that your spouse can, your widow rather, can draw from after you're gone. That is not going to happen. Fear not, my fellow millennials, hope is not lost. There is a solution to this problem. Peter Lynch, famous successful investor and founder of Fidelity Investments, once said, "It's not just how much money you make that will determine future prosperity, it's how much money you put to work by saving it and investing it." The basic idea is that you invest your money and it grows at whatever percentage, and over time, your money earns money. If you put $100 in the stock market and it earns 10% in its first year, it will be worth $110 at the end of 1 year. And then, if that 10% that you earned is reinvested, that will earn interest. That is the idea of compound interest. All in all, it can snowball, and it can snowball pretty fast if you start investing early enough. Here's why it's necessary. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, defined benefit pension plans in 2012 were offered to 22% of full-time private sector workers, and that's down from 42% in 1990. That trend is expected to continue. Most of us will never be offered a pension in our lives. That means that we need to prepare for our retirements. Now let's revisit the idea of compound interest to see how important it is to start investing right now. Imagine two scenarios, if you will. In scenario A, you're 25 years old and you invest $1,000 per year for 10 years until you're 35. If that money earns 7% per year annualized until you retire at age 65, and 7% is the historical average returns for the U.S. stock market, at 65 when you retire, that will have accumulated to $113,000. In scenario B, you wait until you're 35 years old and you have a little bit better job and more money to start investing. You invest $1,000 per year for the next 30 years until you retire. Assuming a 7% annualized average return, when you're 65 and you retire in scenario B, your money will have only grown to $101,000. In scenario A, you invest $10,000 and it grows to $113,000. In scenario B, you wait 10 years to start investing, you invest 3 times as much, you invest $30,000, and it grows to $12,000 less than in scenario A. That's why compound interest is very important, and it's crucial to start preparing for your retirement now while you're young and you can take advantage of these gains. And you might laugh it off and think, well, I have a good degree, I'm going to get a good job, I'll have plenty of money, I can just save for retirement. Maybe when you're 30 or 40 years old, your grandpa or your parents will pass and leave you a wealthy inheritance, and you'll think you're slick because you can leave it in the bank and that will fund your retirement when you're older. But that's simply not the case. Inflation historically has eaten away 2 to 3% of your savings historically. Excuse me. The historical inflation rate in the United States is 2 to 3%. That means if you save or come into $1 million that you decide to put away and save for retirement, which is a smart choice, within 10 years that will only have the buying power of $737,000. And that's assuming that you don't spend any of it. So imagine if you're 30 years old and you come into this inheritance and you think, I'm going to save this for retirement, I'm all set, I don't have to worry about it. By the time you're actually retiring, that'll have the buying power of less than half of what it once was. Before you know it, you'll be 75, healthy as a bull with 15 years left, but no money to fund your retirement. It's why it's important to start investing and preparing for retirement right now. It's not only good for you, but it eases economic stress nationwide across the board.